Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenmara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho, and today I would like to offer the fire energy reading for the month of March of 2024. And the fire elemental energy covers the zodiac signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. If you're interested in why I read for the elements and not the zodiac, short answer, I'm not as comfortable with the zodiac, but I have videos linked in the description if you want to have a more detailed reasoning for why I do what I do. I may eventually get into doing zodiac, but right now this is where we're at. And I read intuitively, so the messages that come through are the ones that Spirit is bringing in for you all. And sometimes I'll reference the theys or whoever. It's my guides talking or bringing in images for me. So if you're interested in any of the decks or books that I'm using, you can check those out in the links below as well. And we're starting off with the I-ching hexagram. And for fire, I cast the hexagrams beforehand, so it takes less time on this video. The hexagram for fire is hexagram 43, and it is resolution. The text says, resolution: when a proclamation is made at the court of the king, frankness in revealing the true state of affairs is dangerous. In making announcements to the people of his own city, it is not fitting for the ruler to carry arms. It is favorable to have in view some goal or destination. So what this is saying is, you don't always when you're bringing things up to the people above you, the people in power, your superiors, however you look at that, it doesn't always behoove you to be blunt to the point. Sometimes, a little bit of easing them into what information you're bringing forward is a good thing. And what they're saying with the dangerous, they're saying it's more of just like, you may turn them against you if you butt up against them too hard, too fast. And then it's not fitting for the ruler to carry arms. When the person in charge comes in aggressively, and in the olden days that was with like a brandished weapon, shields, things like that. Yeah, they had it, but it wasn't advisable, especially if you were trying to be peaceful or keep the peace, to blatantly show your arms. And it's better to have, like, if you have to go into those discussions, know what your outcome is. Like, what is it you're going for? So for what the basics of this text are, don't be hyper aggressive, fire, going forward this month in March. You don't have to always be ready for a fight, but the other part is, make sure that as we're moving into March, you have a goal for the end of the month. You have a destination. You have plans in place, because you want to make sure that you're building. And the one thing that I run into a lot, especially with people who use law of attraction or manifestation, is they will put the concept of wanting into their and without a set date. So it's like, I want fill in the like a new house in the future. Do you have a time frame for that? And so with this one, what they're saying is, have a goal for the end of the month. Have something that you want to accomplish, whether it's finishing that next chapter you're writing in your book, finishing that next Afghan or quilt. Work towards a goal this month, but have a set goal. And you don't have to go at it aggressively. Just keep working, and maybe schmooze a little bit if you need to make things move a little bit smoother. So your bottom, our foundational line here, is to set out with great show of strength, advance, but when no success is shameful. Okay, let's try that again. To set out with a great show of strength, advance, but when no success is shameful. So if you're going at things too aggressively this month, what this is really saying is, yeah, it's going to look great. Look at how much fire's doing. Wait, they didn't actually accomplish anything by that, all of that. It's because you're being too bombastic and too aggressive is what they're saying. Learn to bring her down a notch, sometimes the best manifestation happens in complete silence. Our second line is, though disturbed by cries in the night, he who is armed knows no fear. Even if to the outside world, your plans don't look like they're playing out correctly, you know, because you've set things in place, you have safeguards, you have fail-safes, however you want to look at that. As you're moving forward, there may be people crying out, "You're doing it wrong, that's not how we do this." But it's your path, and we're talking spirituality or something that you're working on personally. You can kind of mold things to a certain extent with however they fit best for you, and that's what they're talking about here. Our third place line, strength in the cheekbones, misfortune. The superior man is firmly determined, but if, while walking alone in the rain, he is irked by mud, he is not to be blamed for that. So, strength in the cheekbones, what I'm hearing is, this is like if you're too forceful, like purposely smiling, trying to like overdo everything, it's not going to look great for you. But the superior man is firmly determined, but if walking alone in the rain, he is irked by mud. So you've got some things going on that aren't the greatest. Rain comes into everyone's life. You're frustrated by it, but you're not stopping your forward momentum, and that's where you're not blamed for being irked by the things that are in the way, the things that are not going the greatest. But you're still moving. You still have that destination in mind. You're still going towards your goal. Yeah, things may not be perfect, and that frustrates you. Fine, that's not your issue. But being fake and being too over dramatic about it, that's not going to win you any favors spiritually. So, for our fourth place line, right there, is his haunches have been flayed, and he walks falteringly, though he could put an end to his shame by allowing himself to be dragged along like a sheep. Moreover, he puts no faith in the words of others. Doesn't really matter what other people think, is what I'm getting. This, you may have been through it, and in my IRL life, there are different groups of people who are going through a lot. I mean, a lot, to the point where the fact that you show up each day, put on that fake face, and continue on is impressive. And that's what they're saying, is even though you're going through things, his haunches have been flayed and he walks falteringly, but you're still going forward. You're still showing up. You're still working towards your goal. You could just sit down and give up. That's being dragged along like a sheep. But that's not happening. Fire's energy won't allow them to do that, which is good. When you're putting faith in the opinions of other people, it doesn't always turn out well. And that's what the other aspect of that is. You've had a lot going on. Other people are like, you don't have to do all of this by yourself. You can let someone else help you. But they're going to want to help in their way, which is not the way you're doing it. And that's not to say they're bad, but it's not their path, it's your path. So you have to make sure you're holding true to yourself as you're moving forward. And they're showing me that this is a work situation, like you're building a side business or something, and you're doing it in a way that's less than popular or less than common. But they're also saying that in your spiritual life, you may be going through a rough patch. And now again, this is a general reading, so if you are going through a rough patch, know that you're not giving up. You have support, and you're basically being tested right now. That doesn't mean to give up. That doesn't mean that really anything other than this is what your soul agreed to. This is where it's manifesting. The path that you're on is the one you've chosen. Stay focused on the goals and keep moving that direction, even if it's only slow, faltering steps. So our fifth place, with the tenacity of spinach clinging to the earth, he blamelessly steers a middle course. The heck does that mean? Sorry, there's a little note here. Okay, spinach doesn't have a root. That's the reason I was confused. It's the commentary, or the general definition for that is the spinach clinging to the earth. He is weak but determined, because spinach doesn't have if you've ever raised it, doesn't have a really strong root ball, but it will stay there as long as it's not messed with too much. And so even though you may not be pushing as hard as you would like, you're steering a middle course. You're not going hot, you're not going cold, you're not going hyper masculine, you're not going hyper feminine. You're not really picking a side, and that's the greatest thing that you could be doing. They're also showing me that if you understand or go to Kabbalah, the middle pillar is something to work on, and work on that column of the chakras as well. But it's staying that balanced point, that in between, not holding to one or the other, staying more mid-ground is what they're saying, is the recommendation here. So our capstone is, in the end, misfortune will come without a warning. Not the most pleasant reading for fire, but overall, what the purpose of the little heads ups, they're not saying that this is going to happen. It's not quite how oracle type work is. Prophecy is a little bit different, and prophets are very rare, so we're not going there. But the resolution is, things are not always what they seem. The outside may, to others, it may not look the greatest. It may look rough, that you should just give up and stop. This is pointless. What are you doing? You'll hear those phrases quite possibly this month. But what Spirit is saying is, it doesn't really matter what the outside world is dealing with. You have the resolution. You have that inner fire, the spark that keeps you going, that is pushing you and guiding you. Stay focused on your goals. It doesn't really matter what else is going on. Rain, mud, getting attacked, doesn't really matter, because that's outside stuff. That is beyond your control. What you can control, and that's where your resolution comes in. This is testing the resolution of your character, so to speak. Your resolution is, can I stick to this goal? Can I keep moving towards it? And what Source is saying, you have the support of God, Source, Divine, unbelievable amount of angels and spirit guides out there to help you move forward, fire. And that's what's being requested of you at this time, is to stay focused, stay grounded, and keep moving forward, really ignoring the obstacles that life is throwing at you, because life has nothing else to do, right? So with that, we'll move into our tarot/oracle reading. I go week by week. There's approximately 4 weeks in March. With that, we will be looking at a guide or guardian, a message from Source. The guide or guardian, it's a guide to help you through the week, or a guardian to help you deal with a situation that may come up. And that's 100% dependent on you individually. A message from Source is a positive support for that week, and then we look at the tarot for a lesson or a challenge, something to work on, something to be aware of, something that your guardian may be helping you with through the week. With that, we'll get started. So, like I said, these are all decks that are linked in the description. I have one of my newer decks coming up for our guide, and that's the Dragon Path Oracle. And your first week's guide or guardian is a Luminaire. There's even an angel with this one, so your dragon's here, but you have an angel up here. And what this is saying for this first week of March, pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to those little subtle bursts of light, especially around the periphery where you can almost see it, because that's where your guides are coming in. What they're doing is they're bringing attention to you, or they're bringing your awareness to the fact that they're there, first of all. Second of all, they're also saying for this first week, you have the support. So this first week is what they're showing, is this is where some of the testing of your resolution could start. But the guides that are coming in are the Luminaire dragons, but you also have what looks to be almost Metatron type angel in the background, and that angel is coming in to say, there's some things coming up. Your soul agreed to some of this before you came in, and now it's time to process. Basically, you've already made the decisions. We're just here to help ease this next period of your life. So let's see what the message from Source is. And no, we don't have. We have good fortune, inviting the magic in. With this as the message from Source is the Illuminaire is bringing light to the situation. It's helping you understand the why. What the Source is saying is, even though things may not be the greatest, things may not always be the way you would like them to be, focus on what you can control and let the magic in. Allow good fortune to be shining upon you. There's times where in life we have this sudden urge to, I'm going to control it. I will force this into round peg, square hole. But when we invite things in, it's because we're stepping into that flow. We're working to illuminate the darkness, peel away those illusions. And when you do that, the good fortune, the magic of life, of manifestation, can actually become active in your consciousness. And that's what they're saying is, let's work on illuminating. You have the support of heaven basically on your side. And the good fortune is, work with the positive as things go forward this next month. And the reason that they're saying that for this first week is, if you set yourself up for success, holding on to the goals, dreams, and ambitions that you're working towards, that is going to benefit you as we move forward through this month. Your lesson or challenge is the Three of Swords. There's going to be a challenge to intellect. There's going to be some doubting Thomas energy coming from an outside source. And what they're saying is, stay strong and don't really worry about what this person. Notice they're showing me that this is you, Fire. You're standing up. You're the one in motion. You're the one doing. But this one over here is like, are you sure you want to do that? Is that really what you're wanting to put forward? Come on, you should come over here and sit down with me. So that's that doubting Thomas. Yeah, I don't think you understand. That's not the best option. And what Source is saying, don't listen to those people. You have your goals. You have things that you are working on. And starting yourself off this month with the Illuminaire Dragons, but you also have the message from Source being good fortune. Work with the positive. Work towards your goals. Don't worry about the doubting Thomases or Thomasinas in this case. Let them deal with what they've got going on over there. That's their problem, is to be... that's just too hard. You made the choice to go down this path. Obviously, it's not too hard because you're moving on it. Doesn't mean how fast or slow, just like with the I-ching. It didn't say you're going to be jogging down the path of life being, yay, this is fun. It's going to be a little bit slow at times, and that's okay. So let's look at your second week guide. We have harmony. This dragon is coming in to say the first week was setting you up. Get your goals in order, get your focus going, hold tight to that good fortune and that magic, that positive manifestation. The second week, the dragons are coming forward to say, let's work in harmony. Let's bring things to a balance. Let's work with the natural flow. That doesn't mean you have to push against anything. Harmony is working in unison with, working in tandem with, because when things are going good, it flows like music. And that's the harmony of the dragons that are coming forward. And they're also saying in the second week, basically they're showing me dancing, which is funny because dragons dancing is interesting. But they just have this, like, they're flowing through the air, they're listening to music, and they're singing along. So the second week is, when you get into that harmony flow, it lightens how you feel. And that's what these dragons are coming in to help with the second week. Your message from Source is your intuition, trusting your intuition. Follow those gut instincts. Follow those inspired thoughts, those aha moments. Source is saying this second week, working with the harmony, you're going to have some insights. You're going to have some breakthroughs. And they're showing me keeping your mouth silent. You have the epiphany. You have the breakthrough. You have the enlightened stance. That's not for that person. It's not for that person. It's not for that person. This is for you. When you tap into that intuition and you're working with the harmony and the flow of the universe, what they're saying is in this second week, it's going to really start to show you, yeah, things may not be going fast, but that's why. If you were running, you would miss this one little turn that you needed to take. If you were speeding on down the road, you'd miss this. Things are being slowed down for a reason, and that's what they're saying, is it's not always a bad thing to be slow. The I-ching made it sound like you're falling into a pit, but the reality is you're slowing down because Source has a message for you, and there's something that if you were going too fast, you'd miss. Our lesson or challenge from the tarot is number 21. This is the world. Source is saying this is what you all would miss if you were going too fast. Getting into harmony, working with your intuition. The world is, what is it you're looking for? Because it's available to you in this time. The lesson with this is when you really tap in, and everyone's on a different path, everyone's at a different level. But what they're showing me with this is when you tap in and you really are connecting with your spirit through intuition, working with harmony, the universe opens up. It becomes this big platter. What is it you're looking for? What is it you're trying to build? What is it you're trying to grow towards? So this second week is working in harmony, tapping into your intuition, but you need to make sure you've got defined goals. And that's what they're saying is you have a lot, your gifts and talents and skills give you a lot of options, but the world card says picking one and focusing on it is what's important. So this month going forward is really about just making sure you're focused on what's important, what it is you've been striving for, and like I said with the I-ching, setting those definite goals for the end of March. So with this your third week, we have number 28, and that is Mordwin. And this one is showing me, this is that balance again. You have the middle pillar lighting up in the Tree of Life in Kabbalah. This one is saying the wisdom of spirit is what's important. When it talked in the I-ching about taking the middle path on like the 5th line, now with Mordwin, we still have that same energy coming up. The middle pillar, this pillar right here, this is working through the central column. That's this, your chakra system, which is within the body, and then you have the Tree of Life, which is more sitting on top of it, but you still have this central line. This middle pillar is bringing source energy through Kether down through your body into Malkuth, the world. You are bringing in spiritual energy into manifestation. This third week, this is when the rubber hits the road, so to speak. You're bringing your goals, your plans. This is when you're going to start seeing results. It doesn't really matter what other people think. Your movement may not be that fast. Flayed flanks, meaning your legs are going to be tired. You may not be moving as fast as other people think you should be. But you have Mordwin coming in this week, this third week, saying, don't worry about them. You are taking a central path. You are working to bring spiritual into the physical, energetic into the material. You are working through things, and you're doing it at the pace that's best for you. It really, and they keep emphasizing this for some reason, it doesn't matter what other people think in this next month of March. It's really about you connecting with your higher consciousness, your awareness, your intuition, and with God, source, divine energy, because really outside of that, nothing else really matters. And just because someone wants to be doubting and questioning, that doesn't mean that they're right. Doesn't mean that they're wrong, but you don't have to take their word as gospel either. So your message from Source is gratitude, being grateful for all that you have. When you work through the middle pillar, if you work through the chakras, whichever way you want to work with that, and you bring that spiritual, divine, higher energy into the physical manifested plane, one of the ways that kind of greases the gears is working with gratitude. When you tap into gratitude and you are grateful, I am grateful for this rain. There's mud, but you know what? Mud washes off. So I'm grateful for the rain. We need it for the watering, because this water is actually helping my goals. Going back to the I-ching. But even through challenges, if we can find a state of gratitude of, I am so grateful for this challenge because it helps me understand my goal better. I am so grateful for this challenge because it's teaching me whatever lesson. And that's the thing with gratitude, is it doesn't have to be only for the positive. And now, don't get me wrong. Don't be like, I am so happy for all these bad things that are happening. No, I'm happy and grateful for the fact that I had to go through that, because now I understand this at a better level. It's not the situation, it's the result of it that you are grateful for. No one wants to be put through trials. Trust me, that's nightmarish. But when you come out on the other side, you have that golden nugget of wisdom. I get it now. That's what that was all about. Now I understand. And that's, like I said, there's people in my IRL that are going through some of that right now, and they're coming out on the other side of some of their challenges going, oh, that makes more sense. So working with gratitude, especially in this third week, this is a reminder to work with that energy, because it actually has a lot of benefit spiritually as well as just in the manifestation world. So let's take a peek at, if my deck would talk to me here, your lesson or challenge. We have the 9 of Wands. So this is your energy, fire. This is, you're almost there. The 9 of Wands is coming forward saying, you can start to celebrate. Don't get too overzealous, because this girl lost her top. That's why I have my finger there. But it's saying that you're almost to the end of this cycle. You're almost to the end. Stay focused. 9 is a spiritual number. It's 3 threes. So you've got this powerful, powerful guidance coming in from Source saying, we're here with you. You've been doing a lot of work. A lot of it's been internal, because the outside, no one else is noticing. They don't need to. But don't give up just yet. You still have a little ways to go. We're not to the end of the month. We're only at the third week. But focus on the mission. A little bit of internal celebration, like, oh, look, I can see the end. I can see it coming together. My plan's working. That's great. And if there's someone involved that's helping you with that, you guys can celebrate with that within your bubble. But it's not ready to be brought out to the public just yet. So this one is saying you're heading in the right direction. The I-ching is saying the outside looks a little rough. That's fine. But internally, spiritually, within your creative process, things are going the way they're supposed to. Hang on, you're not quite there. So let's take a peek at the last week for March. And yeah, there's a little bit of spillover, but I'm not going to read a 5th week for one day. So we'll catch that one in April. But your 4th week of March is number 16. I'm not good with Roman numerals, sorry. And it is grace. By grace, go forth. With these angels and dragons actually coming forward, this is about stepping into grace. You've been working through this month, and it looks a little rough from the outside. It looks a little awkward. It looks like you should just give up. What's the point? Why? This is why. The angels and dragons of grace are coming forward saying, take their slings and arrows, dodge them gracefully. You've got this. They don't know what your success is looking like. They don't see how close to the finish line you really are. Because they're spectators. They're off to the side. They're like, yeah, whatever. But they're not paying attention because they're here, but the finish line's around the corner. You're almost there. But don't give in to the frustrations of other people, is what they're saying for this month. Sorry about that. You're moving into the final phases of this next step of your goals, dreams, ambitions. The manifestation is almost complete. Those involved are looking at the same finish line. They're like, we did it. Yes. And that, like I said, that can be manifest in a bunch of different ways. But you're working towards an end game here, and you're almost there. So hold yourself with grace and dignity. And your message from Source is, the opportunity knocks, go for it. Again, your resolution has been tested this month. It's not been fun. It's not been pleasant. The dragons, the angels, God, Source, divine energies coming in saying, you're almost there. Things are moving faster than you realize. For you personally, This is the marathon. Slow down. We're not rushing to the end. You're just going to wear yourself out. Keep plodding along. It's not always fun. But when opportunity knocks, be ready. And that's what they're saying is you've went through all of this, and that's where the outside world doesn't see it. But you've been aligning, you've been growing, you've been focusing, you've been really putting in the work behind the scenes, because this is not for other people, this is for you. And now there's an opportunity coming in. This 4th week, pay attention to opportunities. Trust and follow your intuition using logic and reason. There we go. Because there always are opportunities. It's whether or not we're paying attention. And this 4th week is really about paying attention to that. If you've got someone in your inner circle that's helping you, working with you, and you can trust, talk it out. If something comes up and you're like, would that work? Is that a viable option? This 4th week is all about understanding the grace of moving forward, ignoring the haters, so to speak, but tapping into those opportunities, following your intuition and the guidance from prayer and meditation and journaling. Put the work in, and the results will come through. Your lesson or challenge from the tarot is the 9 of Pentacles. They're showing a financial windfall coming in at this point, but it's not just about finances. That's the first one. They're pointing that out. So the end of this last week of March could be beneficial there. But they're also saying that there is something going on in your home that is now noticeably almost complete. Whether it is they're bringing forward a baby, it could be a birth, it could be something new, could be a new house, new mortgage. Opportunities are there, and the 9 of Pentacles is saying, again, you're almost complete. You're at the end of the month, so the opportunities are there. The 9 of Pentacles is saying, did you take the chance? Or not take the chance. Did you take the opportunity? Because chance is risky. Opportunities, you can usually tell where they're headed. And that's what's coming forward in this 4th week. Doing so with grace, working with your guides and guardians. Overall, March looks like it's going to be a lot of internal work. The outside world is going to be a little bit rough, but that's because of them, not you. So do the internal work behind the scenes as much as you can, and as you're going through, work with your guides, work with God, Source, Divine, however you see this creator, and really focus on the end game. Don't worry about the details. The devil's in the details. Focus on the end game. That's the important part. With that, you'll be able to be inspired to take the next steps. You'll see the opportunities because you've slowed down so that you're not rushing. That's how there's always some give and take in life, and that's what they're bringing forward for our fire family for March of 2024. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like on it, comments, let me know what your thoughts are, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, and feel free, if there's someone that you think might benefit or be interested in this, share away. And with that, I will let you guys go. Have a great month of March, and I will see you in the next video.